Welcome everyone. Today I have a new guide for Path of Exile 2 making currency in the game starting with nothing. I really want to teach you guys how to start making currencies if you have nothing and you don't know what to do. And I also want to include how to level from level 1 to level 100 together with having nothing. Because a lot of comments lately I have been saying that even though we have been trying to make the build coming from 20 divine to 5 divine to 2 divine and even to cheaper, there's a lot of viewers who still struggles in making currencies in the game. And I want to help you guys to have the best experience. Once you can find 5 divine in the game, you can easily get 10, 100 divines using the similar method. And in order to make things a little easier, I decided to do this in a written form with a lot of links to related guide. So should you want to find a build or should you want to decide how you want to be making currencies, there is a variety of guide we have covered that you can be fighting monsters, farming different maps, or you can be using a number of different arbitrages including filters, craftings, or just some simple method which I explained to you guys. And over here, what I want to make things easier is you can be using a lot of those methods to be getting free Exalt and also free experience as you join the right groups and also finding the right people. And I'll teach you guys step by step of how to do this. Ultimately, the goal of this particular video is to help you guys find different ways of making currencies so you don't feel the stress or the need to be, struggling in making 5, 10 or 20 divine, and then you can build any of the cheaper build that I will build for you guys in this stage or in the future leaks. There's definitely a lot of ways of making divines. People are selling gold for divines, and look at this player who is very creative, selling tons of gold for 3 to 2 divines. There's people selling amulets, people selling bulk items, people selling maps. There's a number of ways you can be making tons of divines in the game once you know the method. Now this video will be broken down into several timestamp segments, so make sure you guys use the timestamps below. Now firstly, you might be saying, hey Matt, I don't even have the leveling. So here we have a guide to teach you guys how to start leveling. This is for the Infernalists, but you can do something similar as well. From level 1 to level 45 to 65, all the way to level 100. And using this leveling guide and together with some of the nice items coming from Max Roll with the nice leveling uniques, you can have a much easier time in leveling character in the story. And once you have leveled your character somewhere after the story or during the story, should you find the need to make yourself survivable and also stop dying in the endgame, we do have a basic guide to teach you guys how to cap out in all your resistance. And why do we need this? It's because you want those stats, then you can start fighting monsters or you can just dive into trading. And this also helps you to join other players' parties without dying, because dying can be very punishing. At the same time, I do recommend coming over to this guide if you haven't collected all your free skill points and also permanent stats. A lot of a build expect you to have your maximum spirit collected in the game. And some of you guys are coming to me saying, hey Matt, I don't have enough spirit. This may be the case because you haven't collected all the free spirit, all the free skill points in the game that is permanent stat. So this is to get you guys started, to have a good time in any of the build, and also to have enough levelings, enough survivability to do any of the basic starting content. Now around this stage of the game, I do recommend following one of our more cheaper budget build during this stage of the game. We do have a 2 divine build which will give you guys a lot of movement, and this is rather cheap. This won't be the build that clears all the content, but this will give you a sense of speed farming, dealing tons of damage. It can be a little squishy, but this is quite mobile. The downside for this build is that this currently focuses on the Deadeye. Our latest build with a 5 divine budget will allow you to have a much easier time in clearing all the content with around 5 divine budget. And yes guys, you might be saying, hey Matt, I'm here to learn how to make the divines. If I had the divines, I'll make the build, right? But here are just a list of builds that you guys can look into as you acquire more divines in the following method. Now once you have enough divines, you have Temporalis, which is amazing in the game, you can go into something crazy. Just let me show you guys a brief demonstration of this 600% Magic Find Temporalis Blink. It is crazy. You have Magic Find, you have survivability, and you're super fast around the map. But Temporalis is not cheap, but bear with me, I'll teach you guys all the method that's revolved around making more divines over 100 divines as well. Now of course similarly, there is also the Aura bot which prints divines, but this can be a little far from the starting point, but you can take advantage of this. Players who runs the Aura bot will require other players to join the party. they will actually pay you over 10 Exalt and also give you free items if you join the party, and this allows you to be Legion experience for free. So once you have enough basic gears, you can then, using our method, to join other players' party, get free Exalt by just tagging along, and some free items that is agreed upon you can loot, and then getting free experience. And finally, should you guys want to push for world ranking to level 100, we do have a guide to be speed leveling to level 100. And my friend Paychat over here has reached global rank number 22 using those methods. So now that we covered everything that's not related to making currency, let's have a look at how you can be making your currencies in the game. I'll start with the most, popular ones where you are farming various content by fighting monsters. I know a lot of you don't like to stay in a hideout, so let's talk about this one first. We have been learning from a lot of content creators in farming different ways, and the Bluff Tower Infinite Reset seems to be the most consistent, very simple, and also very direct way of farming more currency in the game. In that video, we also talk about farming the Simulacrum if your build is strong enough. The build that is strong enough is coming after the 5 Divine build. Everything should be strong enough in farming any tier of the Simulacrum. At the same time, if your build is a little weaker, you can consider farming the Chaos Trials, and this can be very profitable if you hit one of those massive jackpot of the Soul Cores or even corrupt items. We also talk about farming the Hideout, but this is not as consistent. You can be using those methods and also guides into farming the cathedrals, or citadels, I always say cathedrals. Citadels can still be profitable, but this will also requires you to understand how to get more quantity of waystones in dropping 3 fragments, so make sure you check out those previous videos. And finally, while fighting any content in the game, you really want to understand this, because this particular atlas point can reduce your divine drop rate by up to 40%, or increase it by 40%. So definitely check out the mistakes you want to avoid in this atlas point, which is local knowledge, if you guys didn't know about this. Now that we briefly touch up on the combat aspects of the game, I'll be adding more ways of farming like the bridge, the ritual, and also the second trials, which can be very profitable. But what if you don't want to be farming, or if you don't even have the understanding of the game or the gears to be fighting those monsters? Over here we have tons of guides, which I love to do, with trading, flipping, arbitrage, crafting, gambling, service related, everything related to Path of Exile 2. You can see I'm not much of a combat guy, but I'm rather like a free trader. So in those videos, there's tons of ways that you can be easily making tons of Exalt starting with nothing. There's also ways we have learned from other content creators who make over thousands of divines in some simple crafting and also filtering. Together with all the related data and also histories in gambling and also flipping and also valuing different items, all the links is available for you guys should you want to have a look. And this way you can take and pick on what are the method that suits you the best. And of course, we have tons of notes over here for your reference for you to go through those. But of course, I wouldn't want to finish the video over here, even though we have examples, live examples, which after valuing those boots, even though if I didn't hit the jackpot, I still made tons of divines. I think I made about 5 to 10 divines at the time, and back then those were quite a bit of currency. Now it doesn't worth as much. So coming over to the final part, what if you have no gears, you have no levels, you have no experience, you have nothing, and let's pretend you're level 1. Well, you do want to be a little higher level so you can play the game, I guess. So follow the first part if you have no levels. But once you do this, I really do recommend in joining Gaming Path of Exile 2 channels on Discord. So if I come over here, you can see I have joined a number of those. I even joined the Farmer one, and also here we have Path of Exile 1, Path of Exile 2, Path of Exile Exchange, and also TFT. I'm not trying to promote TFT, but it seems to be the easiest way for us to find services and also provide services and also get tons of freebies in the game. So let me explain this step by step. Now, once you have joined a popular gaming channel like TFT over here as an example, you can be selling any tier of the maps. I have screenshots of the examples. You can see that in the want to buy gold box sale channel, it is crazily popular. People are buying waystones for tons of divines, and you can just pretty much loot any maps you find in the game, whether it's tier 1 or tier 10, it sells fast. a full stash of 144 tier 1 maps or tier 1 to tier 10 maps can easily sell for over 1 divine. And I'm not making this up, guys. I'm also buying those maps for gold because I like to do the exchange using those above method. So any maps you find, don't waste them. You can still use them, of course, but once you have enough atlas point to sustain constantly getting tons of maps, if you loot those maps and then coming over here to sell those maps, you can see that a bunch of those maps sells for a lot of divines. So looting around 144 maps might take some time, but this gives you a guaranteed way of finding more divines and also more loots in the game, and the price are always going up. And if you can get higher tier maps, notice that those sales were even higher. Now, of course, I have mentioned earlier that what if you have no way of fighting monsters or don't have any gears? There is a crazy profitable way of becoming middlemen for the other players to do them a service. Players will often find other players to help them buy items. As long as you know how to basic search for items under trader filters or finding those items, they're happy to give you divines up front and also additional fees for finding them in buying those items. So for example, this player wants to buy Stellar Amulets for gambling, and he wants to buy 200 of those. He's happy to pay you 100 divine up front, and then you get a 10 divine fee for doing this. Imagine this, all you have to do is to trade and also help him find those items, and you can be getting tons of more divines just in terms of fees. In terms of, you don't even have to do anything in the game, you become a service provider. Now do be careful, guys, there may be some scammers in the game. And because you're a new player, people might not trust you with a lot of currency. So you might be starting with a lower amount of currency, and once you get trusted in the server, then people will trust you with like 100 divine. And please be careful with scammers. And please do not scam others, because this is a popular trading platform. And if you do scam others, and if you get banned on this Discord, you'll be sacrificing or losing a lot of opportunities in playing with other players and also trading great services in the future leagues. So do not scam others, and please be careful of scammers. And of course, to just show you guys where to find the looking for bulk buyers, it is on this tab. If you come over here, notice that people are looking for bulk buyers. Look at the things that you know what to do at, and look at the things you can be willing to do this. And of course, be honest with the person, chat with them, and to see what are the ways of doing this. And you can see there's a lot of people looking for bulk buyers, and they're willing to give a lot of currencies so you can be doing them a service and earning some fees on the side. Look at this, 2 divines and also additional divines, including change because of this. And some of the players will even give you links of trade filters to see the item they wanted. All you have to do is use those links, buy those items for them, and then take whatever fees or change left over as your earnings because of the service. Now, of course, not all of you will be enjoying in making Path of Exile 2 a trading simulator. So one of the best ways to both enjoy the game and also get some experience is to join a magic find farming group, because as you join other people's group, and once you have gotten yourself a little higher level with enough resistance so you don't die all the time, which is quite important, because if you're dying, they won't be happy, right? So you also lose experience, and you also don't get experience. So if you have enough resistance, if you're not dying, you can join one of those magic find groups as a magic find and also experience leecher. You can be providing them with bonus magic find together with getting free experience and also free exalt for each of the maps you join, and they'll also agree for you to pick up some items. This is the best way to both enjoy the game, to get a free experience, some free items, to get carried in the game, and also to get earnings. You guaranteed around 10 exalt per map, and this is the best way. So on the same Discord, what you can see is there is a looking for group POE 2, and players before they were just asking players to join them, right? Now they're actively looking for players to join, and they will pay you exalt. And look at this. Here, this player is paying 25 exalt for 5 maps, and some of the players will go even higher. They will pay you 10 exalt per map. You just have to find the right players, and if good items drops, they will actually give you a bonus. You get a pay rise for joining them. So look at some of those players. So players want other players to join them so they get better magic find. One of the reasons they're doing this is because of this method and also build we talk about. The more people in the party, the more divines and items they will find. And in return, you have to promise to not steal their loot, which otherwise they feel terrible, right? So do be careful. If you scam them or steal their loot, then they will report you and get you banned on the server. And I don't recommend doing that, guys. You want to be fair, and those players are already doing us a big favor, right? So in this sense, if you want to play the game or join a group of players or get carried, this may be the best way. And if you do join players that also gives you a bonus for finding some good loot, that can also be great. So notice this player, they even drop mirrors. If they drop mirror, you get 5 free divine, which is not bad income, right? And finally, of course, there is tons of ways to become a bulk trader. I won't name all of them because it's just a lot, but if you come over to the bulk trader side, a lot of people are buying things in bulk by filtering them themselves and then buying them for like 10, 20 Exalt. And then they will come over to this trader side and then start to sell items in bulk. Notice a basic white version of Stellar Amulet is getting traded, and people want to buy those for 0.6 divine. They want to buy 10 Stellar Amulet for 6 divine. And why would they do this? Well, this is actually a little on the side. So why would they want to do this is because, let me do this, okay, better. So because look at this, the price they're buying and the price people are selling those Stellar Amulets. So they are buying those amulets in bulk, and then they're selling those Stellar Amulets and also other items in bulk. And this prints tons of divines. Look at this, 30 Stellar Amulets selling for 25 divine, while they are buying 10 for 6 divine. So there's a definite massive profit and also market once you understand those hidden ways of people making divines. And then you stop playing the game, you just stop become a trader. But don't do too much, otherwise you get burned out. So there's a lot of hidden method in the game that people are literally buying those off players and then reselling them for tons of divines. And this is extremely profitable. So once I reveal those methods and also the gaming channels, and of course the invite link to those Discord channels will be available for you guys. If you don't want to try TFT, there's also Path of Exile 1, Path of Exile 2 for groups. There's also Path of Exchange. So there's a number of exchange and also groups for Path of Exile 2 for you to find more ways of making more currency. And finally, one of the creative ways I found is this particular player is selling his stash with gold. So basically he is saying that he has checked the amount of gold in his stash, and if you want to buy his stash, this is the price of buying those, and he is actually getting very profitable. So basically all of those stashes is likely to include like 144 maps, and those maps can sell anywhere from 1 mil to 1.5 mil, and people are paying 2 to 3 divines in buying those items from him. And that is extremely profitable, and he also have promises that if you see anything that's funny or anything that's wrong, he will double the money that he will pay you back. So there we have it, guys. I try to include everything I discovered, everything that's profitable, including ways of trading and also hidden arbitrages, and also how players are making way more currency, together combining with ways to give you guys early game access, getting carried, and also getting free currency. You should have no problem in getting some starting currency. And once you have the starting currency, going through those methods and also trading methods can boost yourself from making 1 to 2 divines into making tens and also hundreds of divines. And once you get it going, well, there's nothing stopping you, right? And once you get better gears, you can look into ways of farming those content. But if you get good at flipping and also trading with players, you realize that you actually don't make as much currency compared when you fight in the game, which is a little downside, but that's to be expected. We also have tons of builds for you guys to have a look. So this should prepare you guys for everything related in leveling and also making divines. And in the future, as I make more videos and some more builds, I can then refer back to this video because this has included everything. So this way you can enjoy the future builds we make for you guys. And we do want to keep those ones as low as possible for the budget of the build. At the same time, there may be some build that's just too broken or too good in the game, but they require some really good items. We'll still learn those builds and we'll still understand those builds, but ideally we'll have a mix of expensive endgame build and also some really good early game speed farming cheap build. Now hopefully you guys found today's video helpful. Again, a big thank you to everyone on YouTube, especially our supporters and also those of you guys who's been supporting me on Patreon as well. And we do have a new feature on the Mattjestic YouTube channel. If you click onto this, you can become a member. Yes, I've added this just recently, and this will allow you to have early access to videos that is posted a few hours or even half a day earlier if you want to watch those videos a little early. But yes, this will cost money. So please be aware the membership will cost money. And if you do want to watch videos normally, those videos will still be available after 6 to 12 hours, normally on the time we post those videos. and I'll be aiming to post at least one Path of Exile video a day, and this will be including guides, tips, news update, and also the latest tricks that is discovered on both the English and also Chinese community to keep you guys updated. And if you like those videos, make sure you leave a nice comment and also leave a like for those videos. Now, before we finish, if you guys haven't subscribed, this is a really good time to do so, because I'll be looking into the latest Path of Exile 2 news on different communities and also on our official forum, official webpage. I'll also be looking into the best build for each of the class as the meta develops with the Chinese and also the English community. So stay tuned for the latest update and also guides for Path of Exile 2. And of course, this is going to be a big month for us. And I'll try to bring you guys all of the latest content and also guides for Path of Exile 2 to come.